Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another Saturday video. Today's video is going to be all about why you should spend more money on annuals, especially you still have time this year and budget for it next year because I think that they're so worth it. So right here is my giant sea of petunias. This one specifically is called Bermuda Beach. I love annuals so much. They will always be a staple in my garden. Hi. You're going to come film with me? Okay. They will always be a staple in my garden. I will always have annuals, especially petunias, because they perform so well. This is a bunch of plants. I plant them really close together because they fill in. Perennials take a long time to grow up and to fill in. They can take years. Your first year getting a perennial in the ground, you're gonna see some good growth and you're probably gonna get some blooms off of it, but it's not gonna be till the second or third year that it's really gonna start shining in your garden. Where annuals, the second you put them in the ground till the first time a frost takes them, they bloom for you non-stop. Now specifically, I love petunias because you can change up the color every single year, which is really great in the garden, especially when you are indecisive like I am. So this year I'm doing this color, next year I might do a different color, who knows? But I can also change up the flower shape, style, size of them. If I think that these might be too big, next year I'll grow a smaller one. So just a few months ago, this was boring. There was nothing here. I have these planted in a raised bed because I wanted it to cascade down and seem even bigger than they actually are. So while typically you can grow them on the ground and they'll grow nice and flat, this one is mounded up because I do have them in a 12-inch raised bed right here. And the best part about petunias is they come in a huge array of colors. So like I said, you can change up the color of your garden every single year if you chose to. The next one is gomphrena. I love gomphrena in the garden beds. I think they are so pretty. This one right here is called Truffula Pink Gomphrena. It's from Proven Winners. I love it. I love the size of it. This is a whole bunch of plants. I tend to plant my annuals very close together. You don't need to do that. But annuals are really great also because they will help you learn your garden really quickly that season, and you can invest in perennials later. Perennials are always going to be much more expensive, but they're going to last longer. Annuals, they're only going to last a season. Sometimes you can get them to winter over. This gomphrena I might be able to get to winter over this year, but annuals are going to teach you what's going on in your garden. So say you have a spot in your area and you're like, well, is it full sun or is it too much sun? What's going on in this area? Is it shady? Is it wet? I don't know. Throw a couple annuals in there and they will teach you what's happening in that spot in your garden, so that way you can plan for the perfect perennial to go in that spot also. The next one is Dusty Miller. I grew all of these from cutting this year, and I just took cuttings from my perennials last year, so I actually saved money on these ones. These ones are basically free. So I love Dusty Miller in the garden because it fills in really awkward gaps in the garden. I have some electrical stuff right here that I needed hidden, and these filled in so fast for me. These ones are a little bit more cold hardy, so I actually can make these be a perennial in my garden, but they are an annual for a lot of people. So Dusty Miller is great. You get this like nice cool color in the garden, and like I said, you can just hide anything awkward without it being kind of crazy. So we actually have Dusty Miller that's hiding a septic clean out in our garden and electrical box in our garden. Another one is Coleus. This one specifically is called Wicked Witch. It's probably my favorite in the garden. I try to grow it every year if I can get my hands on it. Coleus is a workhorse in the garden. I love it. I do give Coleus pretty proper spacing because I know it's going to fill out really quickly. So they're workhorses. They grow, they fill in, they do their job, and they give you a lot of drama in the garden. It's a great return on your investment, I think, for one season. There's not many perennials that are going to do exactly this all season long. So I think annuals are definitely worth it if you want a big show, especially just something with foliar growth. And what's great about most annuals is that they are very, very low maintenance. I fed these ones when I planted them. They have not gotten a weekly water soluble fertilizer because they don't bloom, and they just get to just kind of do their thing here in the shade, and they create big impact with zero maintenance on my end. The next one is begonias, and I like begonias a lot in my garden. I think that they're really pretty and they're quite bright. I have them in a couple different colors. So this is my first year really growing begonias and going all out on them. But I have since added a ridiculous amount of begonias. So these ones right here are called the Surefire Cherry Cordial, and I do think that they're very pretty. They don't grow incredibly fast, but they're gonna get quite large, and they already are putting a big impact into my garden. I really like that. So I think adding annuals is just kind of a fun way to really add a big show in your garden, where perennials are so short-lived. Perennials are going to give you a great set of blooms, and then they're going to stop blooming for a little while, and you may get a second flush of blooms out of them, where annuals just bloom nonstop from the second you get them in to the second that frost takes them. They're blooming for you. So I just think it's a really fun way to dress up any garden space If you have a little spot that you need something, this is more of a shaded area, so I can have a bunch of color here. There's really not a whole lot of perennials that are shade that do a lot of blooms and a lot of color for the entire season. The next one here, this is salvia, and I have an obsession with salvia. I love it. I think they are so beautiful. They come in an annual or perennial type, but this one right here is just the annual salvia. Hummingbirds go crazy for it. A lot of annuals are very nectar rich, driving pollinators absolutely mad for them. They go crazy. This one is usually covered in hummingbirds and in little bumblebees, which is really, really nice. So I highly recommend adding lots and lots of annuals to your garden that are nectar rich, like salvias, zinnias, gompphrenas. They are all really, really nectar rich, and pollinators are always on top of them. I love salvia. This is 3 plants right here. Salvia is great because it does come in a bunch of different colors too. I've got them in a couple different colors in my garden. You can see there's a bee flying around me right now. I just love it. I think that the pollinators also go really mad for it. And anything that helps the pollinators in my garden is a win in my book. So I will always add annuals for that specific reason. And then if this is not a testament as to why you should be growing more annuals, I don't know what is. And annuals are amazing in containers. I will say we do feed ours a water-soluble fertilizer every single week. So once a week, these are getting fed and these get water every single day. That is how you're gonna have the best luck with your annuals, is by feeding them and watering them. If you had to produce this many blooms, you would be very hungry and very thirsty. And here I have gomphrena, I have verbena, and I have petunias. I have a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. These petunias, they spill down, the verbena fills it out, and then the gomphrena gives you your thriller, your show. So I really don't think that there's a perennial that I could have planted this year, or this combination of perennials, that would have given me this many blooms in a container all season long. They just bloom for me just nonstop. I really think more people should be wasting their money on annuals. I love annuals in the garden. I think that they just create such big impact. There are very few perennials that do this, that continue to do this throughout the entire growing season. Just a couple weeks ago, this was actually completely defoliated and all of the flowers were completely gone. I thought I lost them to a budworm. I ended up spraying for budworm and they rebounded incredibly quick. This was a matter of about 2 weeks time and it's full bloom and it wasn't even affected by it. If this were a perennial or a shrub and it lost all of its blooms, it would have been done blooming for the season and I wouldn't continue to get a show. So I really love annuals, and I hope that I've convinced some of you who are on the fence about annuals or who do think that it is a waste of money to waste your money on annuals, because there's nothing else in the garden that's going to give you a show like these do. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy showing you my garden. I enjoy trying to convince you guys to try all sorts of new plants in your garden, and I hope I showed you a couple that you are thinking about adding to yours. So if you have a chance and you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. It helps my channel out so much more than you know. We put out 6 videos a week, most weeks, sometimes 5 a week. But anyways, thank you guys so much for visiting our garden. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.